How you doing today, guys? Today I'm going to do a video on the Signum MFD menu system. Since it's hard to get in English, I did a video previously, but it was kind of dark and wasn't very enjoyable to look at, really. Cosmetically appealing, let's say. So, here's the updated one. Nice lighted up area. We're good to go. I'll start off by the front panel area. ST, that means short tone. RT, that's your threshold tone. Then we got AM, all metal. This here is your ground balance. Then we got the up and down arrows, and also if you hold them in, it'll turn it into economy mode and turbo mode. Here's your pinpoint button. This is the button that go into your menu system. Here's your discrimination. Here's your speaker volume. And also if you hold it in, you'll get your backlight adjustment. And the NO button is for switching your menus. There's 4 menus you can choose from, and you can edit each one. Currently I have it on menu number 1. I use menu number 1 for ground balance, and so I have all the settings turned really low. So if you hit ST, you'll see a 5 popped up in the corner there. You can turn that up and down. Again, I'm in program number 1, as you can see in the bottom right, so I leave all the settings lower so it's a little bit easier to ground balance. If you try and ground balance with your hot settings, you won't find a clean area to ground balance it properly. So that's your ST, click it again, that turns it off. If you click your RT, that brings up that, and you can adjust it with the up and down arrows, like so. Hit it again and shut it off. All menu, all metal I mean, that turns it into all metal. I'm not going to hit the ground balance button, but that's right there, like I was saying. Here's your discrimination. You can adjust that to allow and disallow, whatever you like. I run a pretty wide open setting. If you hold that, it turns off the display light. Hold it again, it turns it on. And if you just click it, you can adjust the volume. See the number 4 up in the top right? That's for your speaker. And here is your menu. So the bottom right, it shows I'm in menu number 1. There's menu number 2, number 3, and number 4. So we'll go back to 1. So let's go into the menu system. So on the main menu system, we got the text settings, display settings, and sound settings. Just hit OK into text settings. First one up, search mode. So if you hit OK, that will let you switch the search modes. So we got normal, that's just your normal search mode. Deep, that's for picking up big deep objects in, like, we're talking 100 centimeters deep and whatnot. MM, that is your recovery speed. So the higher the MM, the more recovery you get. Basically, let me see. AF1, AF2, AF3. I use that for EMI. It filters all the EMI out. So if you're underneath power lines and stuff like that, you'll want to switch on to that. Basically, tones the detector down a little bit. So hit the check mark again. That will back you out of the main area. Then we're into disc H rocks. That's discrimination of hot rocks. Auto tracking, that's for your ground balance. You're able to adjust that up and down. Your gain, that's your volume for deep targets. Also, some people consider it like your sensitivity. Frequency shift, that's I have a 7 kilohertz coil on there, so my coil is saying 07104. That's exact kilohertz on my coil. hit menu, take us back to the previous menu screen. Then we got display settings. I got my backlight all the way up right now as I'm shooting in daytime. Your contrast, if you click that, you can turn that up and down. That darkens the screen or lightens it. The letters and stuff. Menu, back, down. Accumulation 1, and zoom WS. That's your ratio for your, basically your bounds. It has something to do with your LT bounds, I believe. Like the ratio of sound. Sound settings. Sound mode. RT, that's your threshold. Oops. Hit OK on that. You got RTM. That's a threshold mode with a tone ID. RTM 99. That's kind of like a multi-tone. RTLST. That's threshold with a beep. The L, I believe, means threshold cuts out during the beep. And RTST, threshold with a beep. And STP, I believe that's polyphonic, they call it. So it's a threshold, or a short tone, basically, with the P, polyphonic. Just a beep. So that would be just a beep with no threshold. Hit menu. Oh, sorry. So you hit OK. They'll let you change it. I'll put it back on RTST. Hit OK. Number of tones. You can switch. I got it on 5. So 2, 3, 4, 5. That's all that. Now, LT bound. I believe that allows you to set the boundary for low tones like iron, and it's good for mineralized soil and stuff like that. So let's say your LT bound equals -14, then all targets with a VDI from -13 to +10 will be dubbed the first high tone, basically. And that's your volume of your WS, and LT volume, that's just the volume of your LT bound. So your iron volume, basically. Go back, go back. Now if I hold in menu, that sends me to the advanced menu system. BNF audio settings. This is a little bit more trying. You'll have to bear with me here. We'll go into that. So bound 2, bound 3. So what this basically means in this menu, you can choose what angle you begin to hear the next tone when you have it set to 1 or 2 more tones. So basically it changes the angle of the tones. So you can adjust all 4, then the frequency of your threshold tone, then you can add the LT tone if you want. Oh, I'll tell you what I'm in. So the tones audio setting, you can set all your tones for all 5 of, or all your audio peaks for 5 of your tones. So let's say a silver on your highest bracket, you'll have that ringing up at 1400, right? So it'll be a screamer. And then your iron would be down low, let's say in the 80s. That's basically what that is. We got other settings. Duration, ST. That's basically the duration of your short tone. You can turn that up and down. You get your threshold volume. Economy mode, on and off. You can also adjust that right from the main menu, right from the front display. Economy mode turns everything basically on minimum. It lowers the detector if you're having problems with EMI, and if it's running too hot, click on economy mode, you're good to go. Rate MM. MM's your recovery speed, I believe. So you can change that up to 7. I'll leave mine at 3. EMI filter, that's for filtering EMI. GS filters, I gotta look into that. That's basically, I'm not sure. I'll have to look at that. I think that's for your deep settings. Here's your deep settings, filter T, filter H. Like I said, that's, you'll see online, they're detecting, you know, cans and stuff at 100 centimeters or deeper. That's for that. Go back. See if I can get those numbers up here to pop up. Set of numbers over here, that's your VDI. And your set of numbers on the right, that's your basically your sensitivity, or you know, if a target's deep, the number will be lower. If it's more shallow, it'll be higher. I'll get out of that. I'll put on back on number 1. Top right, you got your battery. And then you can switch your modes. See, now I'm in turbo mode. You see the T pop up? Hit it again. Just regular mode. Hold it in. EC pops up in the bottom. Economy mode. And that's that. So, I'll tell you a little trick I use. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to go grab a piece of ferrite. 1 second. Some people have an extremely hard time ground balancing these machines. So if you're in an area that's completely full of trash and you can't get no clean ground whatsoever, go to your local hardware store and buy a piece of ferrite, and you can ground balance with this. It'll set your ground balance, like, let's say on a day, it would be around 85, 90. So this is what most manufacturers of detectors, if you can't set your ground balance, this is what they're tuned for. So this is basically a high density magnet. This is what I use. And you just run that in front of the coil and ground balance with it. That'll save the day, if, like I said, only if you're in a completely trashy area and you cannot find a foot of, you know, clean ground to ground balance your machine. So anyway, guys, I hope this helped. That's basically, you know, all I know about it right now. It's winter time, so I'm trying to do some helpful videos for you. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks a lot.